Hello, welcome to try again. Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity. Shit. All right, let's do it again. This might take a while. Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity vlog by Visions to Images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberator is the founder and art director of Visions to Images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions to Images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this vlog is Susie Liberator, owner of Visions to Images. Thank you for listening in on Brand Clarity. I'm super excited to have on my show today if you have questions about anything. Do you want to be featured on our next episode? Do you want to be featured on our next episode? Do you have questions about branding? Do you want to be featured on our next episode? Or do you have questions about branding and digital marketing? Use the links below to contact Visions to Images to help get your branding on point. Thank you for listening in on this episode today. Please make sure to Thank you for listening in on this episode today. Please make sure to check out the links from your guest and Visions to Images to learn more about each other. It takes a village, as you know, so connect and grow with one another together. Thank you so much for listening. Hello, everybody. I have Ned Parks on today, founder of Aegis 360. I'm excited to chat with him and kind of let him talk to you guys about all he does and how he helps amazing businesses. Hello, Ned.
Hey, how are you, Susie? Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm glad you're here. So tell us, I know there's so much to your story, but tell everybody kind of about your story, how you got started and where you are today.
You know, it's funny. I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'm going to set up my life so I can be a consultant later. I think they finally all of a sudden wake up one day and say, I think I want to do that. And they're already kind of there and ready to go. And that's a lot how it happened for me. So I was in the military and learned leadership there, a lot of it, and was an officer and a helicopter pilot. And then I ran my own business with several locations. And then I sold those and went to work for a manufacturing company and ran an aviation division for them, and then I broke off and started this in 2000, and have never looked back. It's been a great run the whole way. So.
Awesome. Thank you. So for those who don't know, kind of tell us a little bit about the company.
Sure. So we really try very hard to connect three things in any business: your leadership, your culture, and your strategy. And we feel that those are you can't separate them, although many try to. They think that one has nothing to do with the other, and our argument is that each has everything to do with each other.
Right.
So as an example, you know, if I've got a great strategy and poor leadership and a poor culture, then the strategy is probably going to fail. Um, Almost assuredly, it's going to fail. If I have a great culture and great leadership and no strategy, it's a great place to work and we're kind of muddling along and we'll be somewhat successful, but we're going to have a tough time navigating new opportunities and so on and so forth. And the same goes true with the rest of it. So I'm not going to have a culture without good leadership. And if I have a strategy with poor culture, it's going to suffer. And if I have a great strategy and great culture, but poor leadership, then the culture suffers and the strategy suffers. So we really look to say, regardless of where we connect with the client, maybe it's on a leadership project. I always want to know what's the culture you're trying to drive and what strategy are you trying to support, so we can then drive the leadership to support those two. Even if we're not involved from a consulting standpoint in the other two, which is fine, I still need to understand what they are so we can drive it.
Awesome. Amazing. I love hearing your story. I love everything you do. So many businesses definitely need that help. What are you most excited about right now?
So I have four monikers, if you will, or four pillars, or four foundational
Yeah.
pieces about dealing with anything in business, but it's very, very poignant right now with COVID. And
Mm-hmm.
that is rule number one is turn your panic into opportunity.
Mm.
So whatever panic you have felt or maybe continue to feel through this event,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to really think about it from what's the opportunity that can be had as a result.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And not worry about can you meet that opportunity or can you uh, can you take advantage of it? Is it there or isn't it? What opportunity is there? If you
Mm-hmm.
don't do anything with it, that's fine, but we've got to identify that it's at least there.
Right.
Rule number two is protect your brand at all cost. So
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of companies really damage their brand with, taking some sort of a political stand
Oh
in
my gosh.
panic. And it's like, why are you doing it? Just shut up, have what you want, but just drive forward and do what is right by the people around you. And getting out there and doing ridiculous things is just going to damage your brand. So don't damage your brand. I mean, we're seeing it right here in our hometown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, a local tavern just got their license revoked because they took a stand and now they've lost their brand. Their business is shut down. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you thinking? So,
Right.
so protect your brand at all costs in any kind of a panic situation or
Right. And anything in general, it doesn't even have to
in
be right
anything.
now. Like it's just protect it. Yes.
And that could also equate to like one of the things we did to protect our brand is we immediately shifted and started doing free leadership webinars and development webinars, not only for our clients, we just made them public. They're
Right.
there. We
Yeah.
recorded them, we put them out, and they're there forever. So we're trying to say, hey, our brand is we're here to help you whether you're paying
Right.
us. The third thing is enhance and improve your digital footprint. Now that's going to mean something completely different to everybody. It could mean a web redesign. It could mean you're just going to use your mailing list and you're going to email things much more efficiently. It could mean you're going to develop a new app. It could mean you're going to move your services online like we've done. I don't know what it means for your business, but I know you need to do it. So whatever that develop and improve your digital footprint is, you need to do it. It could be a small amount, a large amount, or a medium amount.
You're speaking my language here, so I like it. I'm like number two and number three. Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
And I mean, I totally agree with the digital presence in a sense. There's interior designers who are like, I can't go in person and do things and all this and that. I mean, they still do some stuff, but now they're doing that virtual end of things as well, like virtual consulting and still getting paid for it and or working out ways to figure out how to get that digital platform. So changing and adapting because everything is changing, period.
Everything's changing. Correct. And then the last, and I don't know if it's the most important, but I can tell you we need to spend a lot of time on it, is build and pivot to nothing that is not sustainable.
Mm.
Here's what I mean by sustainable. If I'm going to change my delivery method, so and your example as an interior designer is actually a great example. If I'm an interior designer and I figure out, okay, by the use of the digital footprint, which was one of those things,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned how to FaceTime or Zoom or whatever, and have my client walk around with the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna record that, and then I'm gonna come back with design. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
let's say they do that.
Mm-hmm.
What they shouldn't do is learn how to do that, pivot to do that, and make it a COVID only
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
process.
Yep.
They should build it in such a way that yes, it answers now,
Mm-hmm.
but will they and how will they position to use that 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now? And if they can't do that, they need to take a very strong look at, should I do it at all? Now, maybe we do some things that are very, very temporary in nature.
Right.
I would argue that even the things that are temporary in nature are only temporary from the volume standpoint. In other words, they're permanent in nature, but there'll be a lower volume later. So I'll take my some of the leadership training we do. We have pivoted. Everything is online. Everything. And one of the things that we have done is we've kept the pricing identical to live. It's
Mm-hmm.
no different. And we've told our clients it's the same intellectual property. It has the same value. We're delivering it in a different method.
Right.
And this is important. We don't want to take advantage of you now by increasing price, even though our cost to do this has actually gone up for a variety of reasons. That's a brand protection piece right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said, 2 years from now, when things are back to normal, we're all together, I'm coming to your office again, this is still going to be available to you. And your decision to use it will not be based on our price. It will be based on your logistical need. So this will always be an option. We will always deliver this program in this format or a live format. And your decision to which format you ask for will be based upon your logistical requirements to deliver it in that way. Our price will not be an impact because it'll be the same. And I got to tell you, our clients have just taken this huge breath and they've gone, oh, wow. And they've both taken a breath from, they were holding their breath because many people are jamming them on price right now. And all of a sudden we don't do that.
Right.
The second thing is we're saying we've got a long view to this, and we're looking at how we can have this as almost an extra, even though it's the same core delivery, the same product. We're giving you a new avenue to buy it 5 years from now, and you'll always have that. And we want you to start to think about what the logistical needs are going to be in the future. So that's back to that brand connection, the pricing, the friendship, the value, the partnership. And we've already had people saying, well, gee, I hadn't thought about that. So wow, that's really an interesting viewpoint. I've had one client say to me, we used to want to do this training, or we've not used to, we've always wanted to do this training or provide this kind of consulting for employees that don't make a ton of money, but it's too expensive to fly them in from all over the country.
Mm.
You're telling me I can now offer this product to these employees that never would have had it before at actually saving them logistical dollars. And I've said yes. And so I believe that as a result of that, we're taking this and not only creating it forward, we're actually opening up an entire new market with our same clients. We probably never would have delivered this to that pay level of employee in the past. So
Yeah. So much good stuff. You're so smart. I love all of it. Like, it just all makes so much sense. And I feel like, yeah, people are either taking advantage or shoving things or whatever. And I mean, even when this whole thing happened, like just reaching out, building those connections, talking to them. I mean, not necessarily free consultation, but there's that conversation like, oh my gosh, what do we do? You know what I mean? And just offering that ear and helping them, rather than saying, oh, here's your invoice. No, I mean, it's tough right now for this, but I love the part about being sustainable because yes, you can do all these things now, and then in 2 years, it'll still be there, like you said, because yeah, I mean, that's how nature of business works.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that there is a piece that I had a client yesterday who's really in tough times. I mean, really, really, really in tough times. And they desperately need this project done, and they know they need it done, and they're willing to find the money for it. The
Right.
first thing they asked me was, so could you take the delivery of this and spread it out over a longer period of time? Usually they want me to get it done really fast. And I said, well, I could, but why? And they said, well, because we want to be able to pay you quarterly. And so if you could just break the project into 4, phases. And
Oh,
I
okay.
said, I got a better idea. Why don't we just get the project done and I'll bill you quarterly over.
Right.
Let's
There
just
you
get
go.
it done.
Right.
It's off my plate.
Right.
And all I have to do is remember to send you an invoice the next
Yeah.
quarter. And they were like, you do that? I go, sure, I'll do it. I get where we are right now. It's fine.
Totally. Right.
It's not a big deal. And they
Right.
were oh my gosh. And they said, done, get us a proposal.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and all I had to do was adjust a little bit and
Sure.
okay, fine, would I like the money faster? Well, sure, we all would, but I'm also wanting the work right now, which has been a little sparse recently. So
Right, right,
and it's a brand new client, and look what I've done in my
right,
very first interaction with them. They're now a client for life.
right. Exactly. That goes back to protecting your brand at all costs. Number
Letting it
two.
all tie together. See, all four of these connect completely
Yeah,
together. And so many organizations are not seeing this. And I just think it's really sad. I really do.
it is really sad. And some people just don't know how, or they're not surviving either, or I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Like we're here and we're here for a while. Let's just help each other out and get through it.
Figure out exactly. Um, my cousin owns a restaurant and brewery in Akron,
Uh-huh.
and they came out with obviously they brew their own beer and they sell it and so on and so forth. Well, what I thought was really cool is our local grocery retailer,
Mm-hmm.
Acme,
Mm-hmm.
went out many of the brew houses in town and said, we will stock your beer if you have the right license and you can get it to us in cans. We will give you shelf space,
Oh, nice.
not sell it to you. We will give it to you.
That's awesome.
Now, when you walk into Acme, they've got this huge display of local beers.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
and it's so cool because they're saying, "Hey, we get what's going on. We're here to help you. We'll stock your beer." And they're like, "We'll
Heck
deliver it,"
yeah, right.
right? And
That's
it's
amazing.
so cool to see that happen.
Yeah,
Everybody's brand is being protected. Everybody's working.
right.
The bars they're not able to stay open as late.
I know.
And now they've got another avenue for revenue, which hopefully will keep some of them alive and some of these small brew houses. And I applauded that. I thought,
Yeah, that's amazing though. That's awesome. I hope that's in the news and people can see like all of that, how they've helped each other.
absolutely. I just think it's fantastic.
It is.
And that's what we need to do. We just need to, and we still need to make a living, right? I can't work for free.
Right.
But what can
But
I do?
find ways, like you said,
Right.
like adjusting the payments, but getting the project done now.
Yeah.
Easy. Love it.
It's actually, it really is easy. It
Yeah.
really is. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So my last question for you is what kind of advice would you give somebody if they were starting off or looking to get into the consulting end of things? What advice would you give somebody?
So, it's interesting. I made a vow 20 years ago that a lot of people sat and had coffee with me and gave me their time. And I said, when I finally got enough water under my bridge that I have something to share with somebody else, if anybody ever calls, I'll always give them my time on this.
Oh,
And I've had tons and tons and tons of people come to me for this. I guess the thing that I would tell you is understand the harshness of this business before you get into it. And what I mean by that is it is really, really hard to make a name for yourself. We're
mhm,
not a restaurant where I can put up a sign and then get some Yelp presence and build a following
mhm.
in a short amount of time. It is really difficult. I have one client, a lot of the work we have done over the years has been very confidential, so I can't talk about it. I can't put
Right,
it on Yelp. I can't put it on a sign. I can't share it. Some of it we can, some of it's
right,
fine. Absolutely share it. But it's a harsh business from the standpoint that building a clientele takes a long, long time.
hmm
The second part of it is when I build a great clientele, it's not like they're going to use my services every Friday. It's
hmm
not going to pop in for a hamburger, right? So I don't have that revenue. Oftentimes they'll say, Ned, we're going to employ you every 2 years. Well, you need a lot of clients to make a year financially successful. So I always tell people understand the harshness of the business in that regard, that it is going to be a hard road to hoe,
hmm
and get yourself set up to where you can weather that storm. And there's several different ways to do that, but you've got to be able to weather that storm. Unless you are lucky and you leave a company and they hire you back as a consultant, as a core foundation. And for those that can do that, that's great. The second thing that I'll tell people in this business is be careful how much stuff you go out and buy to establish your legitimacy in this industry. There is no shortage of people wanting to sell you certifications for all,
Oh,
right? And some of those certifications can be very profitable and they're worth the effort and the time and the money, and some aren't worth the paper they're written on. And there's this, I've seen so many people do it. Well, I'm going to take this course and it's going to take 6 months and it's going to cost $4,000 and I'm going to do this one and I'm going to do that one. And I go, you know what? If you don't have enough in your own toolbox to sell to at least get the motor running, no amount of stuff you're going to buy
Absolutely.
is going to give you anything to sell. So, and I've seen so much money spent and little to no return on that investment come back. So I didn't get my first certification or sign on with a company. I think we were 11 years into business
Oh, wow.
where I did the first one, and we were going pretty good. And then it was a decision of, this is a value add to what I currently do. And so I can sell this, and this isn't the whole shebang. This is a value add, economic as well as a value add to the client. So then I would pick one off and I would add it and I would get it established and I would make it profitable and I would get it running and I'd say, good to go. And then if there was another one that came up, I would say, this is worth it. So I just evaluated those business relationships very, very carefully, very carefully. And then the third thing I guess I would say is, nothing happens until a sale is made. Nothing. And if you're not good at selling, you don't like to sell, you don't understand how to sell, then I don't care how good of a consultant you are, you're not going to be in business very long. So it is absolutely essential that you either find somebody to do it for you or you figure out how to do it on your own. But you are going to have to get out of your own way when it comes to selling your services. Those would be my three top rules.
Yeah, I like it. Number 3 has stood out to me when I first came into business. I was selling stuff here and there and online and stuff, but it wasn't my value, right? Like it was just selling stuff to sell things. And then I was like, oh, I want to get these big clients. I want to get these big clients. How do I get them? How do I get them? Network, all that, whatever. But the truth is if you don't know how to sell, you can't sell. I hired a sales coach, actually, I think about 2 years ago. She's sales, business coach, all that fun stuff. So we were able to like add the value, understand how to price, understand how to sell, understand how to talk to people, because if you can't talk to people, you can't sell. So you have to get over that barrier and understand that you're not going to get a sale the first time, more than likely. You have to build those connections. You have to keep talking and be there, especially like you're talking about, like when somebody comes to you for that contract, invoicing them quarterly, like stuff like that, and understanding, okay, that's sales and listening and helping and communicating is so important. I could not be where I am today without any of that. Like sales coaching, business coaching, whatever you want to call it, you need it.
Yes,
Period.
you do. Yes, you do.
And now I'm like, oh, sales, yeah, okay. I never thought I was a salesperson, but you have to be when you're a business owner, regardless.
And it's funny because going into this year, and we've kind of we stopped this in March, and now we've re-kicked it in gear because I'm really comfortable with where things are. So coming into this year, our big strategic plan was to hire a full-time salesperson because it's gotten to the point where I can no longer deliver,
Right. Exactly.
sell, market, develop new product. I mean, you helped me with a whole new product to develop. I can't do it all. I can't. And the business is at a place now where we can go exponentially farther if I have somebody out there that is really focused on nothing. So we're now out searching for a full-time salesperson. And
Awesome.
put it on hold when COVID hit. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a wait and see here. Just let me
COVID.
how long this is going to happen, so on and so forth. Now things are starting to come back. We've got a whole new line of delivery available. The products are the same, but the delivery is two completely different channels, which opens up an entirely different market. And it's like, oh my gosh, I need the salesperson now faster than I did in March. So we're now interviewing and we're looking to take that step.
That's amazing, though. Congratulations. Hopefully you find somebody good.
Yeah, well, I think that hiring a salesperson in any industry is the hardest position of all to fill.
Right.
I think it's the most difficult.
Right. And they got it. Yeah. Totally. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you for coming on.